This is the first Game 7 in 9 years. Yeah, 9 to 10 years is the first Game 7. And honestly, it did not disappoint. I want to start off with, oh my God, Tyrese. Tyrese, you might be the toughest Tyrese I've seen in a while. You better than the artist, bro. You moving better than the artist. My brother in Christ. I think you had like 9. What was it? It was like 9 to 13 points in the first like 9 minutes of the first quarter. Whoa. And then you went to tore your ACL. Whoa. I'm not gonna lie. If Tyrese Halliburton played the whole finals, I would not be surprised if he ended up winning the game. Winning and getting finals MVP off that just one performance. Even though he's been very mediocre for majority of this playoff run. Y'all don't want to have that. Y'all do not want to have that conversation. He has been mad. I don't even want to call it mid. I don't want to call it mid. Because when he does show up, he's shown up better than when Dame was showing up back in 2015, 2014, 2016. Where as long as he's on the court, you don't know what is happening. You don't know who the ball going to. But some way, somehow, Tyrese has 15 in one quarter. It's crazy. It's just crazy. And it feels like, honestly, I'm very glad that the Indiana Pacers lost. I'm not glad in the way that they ended up losing the game, but I'm glad that they lost because there were some conversations that me personally, I was not ready to have. I was not ready to have those conversations. No. Because it's one of those things where the NBA has this way of copycatting each other, where they're kind of forced to do whatever they can to win, and what you tend to do, you try and mimic the people that beat y'all. But it's very difficult when a team like the Indiana Pacers makes a run for it, because that is not the way you're supposed to win. You are supposed to lose a couple times. Your players are supposed to get a little bit older, and they're supposed to get a little bit better. And then you're supposed to figure out a type of play style that's able to come back what they do. But what they did was, hey, we are all good enough to be 6 men. This is a team of 6 men. The 2024-2025 Indiana Pacers were literally just a bunch of role players, a bunch of 6 men that had the green light to do whatever they wanted. And it was to the point where you got guys coming off the bench like TJ McConnell, and he was playing to not only a star level, he's playing to an all-star level. My brother had like 18 points in like 12 minutes that he actually played. He was causing comebacks by himself as a 6-foot white 30-year-old. He was out here hooping like prime Mike. There's a clip in Game 7 when he pulls it out against SGA, and he goes tween cross, and the SGA is up. And then bro goes and lays it up, kills him. And I'm like, damn. Y'all out here having the 7th, 8th guy. Because keep in mind, TJ McCollum is not a starter. TJ McCollum is not a 6-man. That's Obi Toppin. Obi Toppin's a 6-man. Ben Makinen is a 6-man. And then you got TJ McCollum out here showing out that he's the best player on the team. And it all comes back to the fact that you have a guy in Tyrese Halliburton who is so talented, but he's able to turn himself back to the point where you have no names coming on and be like, oh, you know, I'm that guy. I have been that guy. I know how to be that guy. And you don't get that often because of a lot of players shrink. Shrinking is so common, especially when you're a young player. And keep in mind, when the season started, halfway through the season, they had a poll of who's the most overrated player in the league. They said, hey, Tyrese, you are number 1. You genuinely suck. You're about to get $300 million and you average 15, 19, 7 assists. You don't deserve that money. And he's like, hey, just so you know, I went to the finals before Embiid. Yup. I went to the finals before Donovan fucking Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell has less finals appearances than I do. So hold that before we come through. And not even to mention the type of run that he was going on himself. Tyrese Halliburton, every single round, He hit a game winner. You don't do that. You don't do that. And the thing is, it's not just the fact that he's hitting game winners. The way that he's getting these shots is more than cinematic. People were calling out to the devil like he was putting something inside this game. He was out here sending Tyrese to the place he wasn't supposed to go. I have never seen a player have such a lacking of a bag. Just a disorganized play style and still able to light y'all up. How does he? Oh my God, it was pissing me off. I was out here watching the game specifically. He was going against the New York Knicks. They put OG Anunoby. OG was sitting. They switch off onto Josh Hart. Josh Hart was sitting. They will switch on to who's the other guy? Mikal Bridges. Mikal was sitting. And some way, somehow, he still ends up getting the last 11 points of a game in the third. Come on, bro. Come on. And the way that he's playing with house money is such an understatement to the way that he's able to get things done. Because if he was supposed to lose in the second round, he technically was supposed to lose in the first round. My bro, they were like, hey, you're going to go against Giannis and Dame. Dame is way better than you. And Giannis is just, woo! Just don't even try to have that conversation. And he was out here showing up and showing out. He had the game winner on Giannis. He said tween cross, beat Giannis off the dribble, got to the late finish. He doesn't have a dribble package. How did that happen? What? Huh? And as I'm watching, teams were trying to do this thing where they're like, hey, let's overload. Let's get the ball out of Tyrese's hand. Let's make sure he's not able to beat us. He was never beating y'all. He was never the reason y'all were losing. And now y'all out here doubling a guy that averages 17 points. That's not good ball, bro. That's not good ball. You got your best defender on him? Okay. Benedict Mathurin, the first game against the New York Knicks. You know what? Naismith, I lied. Naismith and Tyrese had 31 and 30. Wow. Just wow. And I thought, because I remember I made a TikTok. I said the Knicks would probably beat them just based off the way that the Knicks were built. I thought that Karl Anthony Towns was going to send them boys to hell. Send them back. Send them to Gary. I thought that's what the game was going to be like. But no. Bro, Karl Anthony Towns, 35 and 12 in 39 minutes. Jalen Brunson, 43 and 5 in 38 minutes. It was to the point where if you were in front of Jalen was going to do you bad. Jalen was going to do you really, really, really bad. And some way, somehow, as I'm watching, I thought Tyrese had a bad game. Bro, I'm out here watching, especially in game one. I'm watching, I'm like, he's scoring, but nah, he has like, I think 25 at most. 20, he might have 20. Bro ended the game with 31 points. And as I'm watching, I'm like, he's not even like doing much. He's barely initiating, bro. He's mostly just setting up guys to run the rim, just get easy buckets, and we're just gonna keep pining. You're just gonna keep pining. Because what the Tyrese-led Indiana Pacers like to do, they like to get back. They want you to have such a comfortable lead that you forget They want you to have such a comfortable lead that you forget the rules of the game of basketball. You're like, okay, y'all up, y'all can just keep hooping. Y'all gonna get sloppy shots. Missed 3, we made a 3. Missed layup because you were doing too much. Try to go coast to coast. We're gonna get pass, corner 3. Oh, you want to shoot again? You don't. Fine, go ahead, shoot that 3, Karl Anthony Towns. You have a high percentage in theory, but you just missed 3 in a row. That's weird, but fine, whatever. Come back, win, and now you're in the fucking hole. Keep in mind, they went to your house and they did that to y'all. And now let's fast forward. I can't be talking about the playoff run. That will be a whole synopsis that I'll probably do in like a couple of months, whenever I get the energy. I'm watching the Indiana Pacers go up against the SGA-led Oklahoma City Thunder, and I'm like, there is no way in J-Hove that the Indiana Pacers are going to be able to even run with this squad. It can't be done. They not only do the OKC Thunder have the greatest defensive sets of all time, statistically, objectively, eye candy, eye test. They just them guys, right? Not only that, they capitalize off of loosey-goosey hoops. And that's exactly what the Indiana Pacers do. So I'm like, oh, they got them. They not even mention SGA is having the greatest guard season since Kobe Bean Bryant's 2008 run. This is going to be a belt, I promise you. Game 1, they lose. Whoa. Whoa. Game winner. That's not the good look. It's not the good look. So now the underdog just got the undisputed favorite just got punched in the fucking mouth. They down. That's not good. That's not good at all. And you start noticing stuff. The way that the OKC Thunder like to run their team, they kind of have this MJ and Pippen type of swag to them, where they have one guy that's such an undisputed bucket getter that it turns into, hey, you have to run sets to try and force me to get all the way to the lane. You would rather have me try and get this hard finish over y'all than it is for me to shoot a jumper. He has been so deadly from the mid-range that people are starting to have flashbacks to the Mike, Kobe, KD type of play styles. And you watch them like, what is going on? The setup doesn't make sense. And they're still somehow able to throw so many different looks, so many different coverages consistently. Because of when you're playing against the guy that understands how to score, when you're playing against a guy that just conventionally knows what positions that he has to be in to be able to get the ball in the rim, you start to realize you can't run the same thing for 3 possessions in a row, because it's like, hey, I'm going to figure that out faster than you will notice that I'm figuring it out. So now they're able to start slowing him down. Game 6 and game 4, if I'm remembering it correctly. They start sending doubles coming from the weak side. And on the offensive end, the Indiana Pacers are doing this thing where Miles Turner might be ass, but he's for sure not ass enough to get rebounds and not ass enough to not be able to score off of a second-year Chet Holmgren. So now the only mismatch, the only missing piece, that's the only offensive valve that the OKC Thunder is able to run halfway through the series is consistently trying to force SGA to get buckets going. But that's not what they've been doing, because the main way they've been winning is, okay, SGA, you're going to be able to account for 56-ish points every game, right? We can always count on you for that, from your scoring ability, from your scoring load, alongside your playmaking load. Our defense is going to give us an extra 15. Our defense is going to generate about 15 to 18 points every single game, just based off the fact that we're able to get steals, bad shots, and we're able to get steals, force it onto bad shots, and then get people in to transition. That is our bread and butter. And making people make mistakes is very effective when you are later in the playoffs, for the main reason being every single bucket not only counts, but it starts affecting your team and your coaching style very heavily, because it's like, okay, they didn't even blow up what we like to do. All they did was just made us make mistakes. So are we going to blow up the thing that we've been using, or are we going to just like stick to it and just be like, hey, this is an anomaly, they're just really good on defense, so we'll just call it a day and we'll get it back on the next game? So no, you are forced to be like, okay, make this hard decision and then live with it, because if you're going to go do the same exact thing, it's going to be very difficult. And another thing the OKC Thunder is sitting back and watching. J-Dub isn't producing the way that we thought he was going to produce. Okay, we will really need him to start showing out like he was last series where he was just killing the Minnesota Timberwolves. He was sending us, oh my God, he was whooping the Minnesota Timberwolves bad, bro. He was doing us bad. So as we're watching, we're thinking to ourselves, what could we do? And in some way, somehow, the Indiana Pacers just keep winning. Game 6 goes by. They're able to steal that one. And we're at a game 7. And now all the chips are down. You got to do whatever it takes. Because keep in mind, the Indiana Pacers have been playing with house money this whole fucking season. This season they've been playing with house money. They literally just needed to, hey, as long as we can make it to the 4th seed, win the first round, we did enough for our city. They get all the way to the fucking finals with a 25-year-old, I think, 25, 26. So not only are they playing with house money, OKC are in this position where if they lose, the world will be throwing stones at them. Tomato paste, tomato sauce. You have SGA, motherfuckers are calling him a foul baiter. He doesn't shoot as much free throws as people were watching SGA and calling him a foul baiting, foul merchant. He doesn't shoot as much free throws as a guy like Michael Jordan, as a guy like Kobe Bean Bryant, as a guy like Joel Embiid, as a guy like fucking LeBron James. He doesn't even shoot them. People are calling this bad. My brother, I lived through the James Harden Houston era. I know what foul baiting is. I know what it means when someone has to put their hands behind their back in. That's all they can do. Because anything else they do is a foul. I literally watched James Harden get 25 free throws in a game. I know what it means to be a foul merchant. James Harden used to dribble by, grab someone's arm, and put it in his arm, and then do this. And get 2 free throws consistently. So the fact that people were just saying, hey, you actually suck. And guess what? Your playoff run hasn't even been that good to begin with. You just went to game 7 with a depleted and injury-filled Nuggets team. You should be... You're all-star. You're the all-star standing right next to you, J-Dub. He's not even an all-star, really. He's just lucky to be on a team with you that's making him look a lot better than he is. And then folks are talking about his whole squad is like, well, you guys are young, and you guys are pretty lucky. You guys got very favorable matchups. You guys didn't have to see Steph. You guys didn't have to see who else? Who else was another team? You didn't have to see Steph. You didn't have to see the clip. You didn't have to see a healthy Kawhi. You got to see an injured Jokic. Yeah, you got. You played against the Grizzlies. This run. Yeah, let's just watch it out. You're not even the real MVP. You really suck. The guy that you guys just jumped, he should have been the MVP. You really do suck. I'm just letting you know that. So they're already calling it fraudulent. They were already setting up all the narratives to ruin a fantastic season like SJ was having. And some way, somehow, they have led themselves to a game 7 where everything could go wrong. You don't want to be in a game 7. I don't want to be in a game 7 because literally anything can happen. And keep in mind, this Indiana Pacers team plays better away than at home. Very worrisome. So they're playing. Right before Tyrese gets hurt, you start looking around. They're like, okay, the tides are changing. This doesn't look too good for OKC. Tyrese gets hurt. They get the little bounce back. They start getting up. But as I'm watching, I'm like, are y'all going to get the lead? Y'all are just going to sit here and... they're only like 7 points away, and they just had a 15-point comeback against y'all. As I'm watching, stuff gets really close, and they were just able to barely sneak by. Because keep in mind, Pascal has been hooping his heart out. Obi Toppin turned into one of the best shooters I've ever seen in my life for some reason. Naismith has been playing like he deserves, not a max, but he deserves to get paid more than CJ McCollum is getting paid. He's out here overplaying his contract. You got Macarin. He's out here playing well. You got, who's the last guy? Naismith, Nembhard. Oh my God, dog. The Michael Jordan of the squad. He's the real hooper. He believes he's the best player of the team. Honestly, I've also been having this idea when I was watching the Indiana Pacers play this year. It feels like Nembhard, Naismith, and McCarron all believe that they're better than Naismith, Nembhard, and McCarron all believe they are better than Tyrese. That's how they be hooping, bro. It's insane. And the OKC Thunder, they put together a fantastic run. Goes and closes them out. They get the they get the win. SGA gets his Finals MVP. He puts up, I think, like 30-some every single game. He's hooping. And yeah, OKC Thunder finally just pulled the game away.